my name is Jamie Smith, and today I'll be talking about communication in employment interviews. So this topic was most interesting to me because I've been in many job industries, from hospital to barista to office. I've kind of touched on them all, except for food service. But other than that, each interview that I've been on with the different industries has been different. And yeah, for my topic, I have chosen articles that touch on the subjects of impression management, virtual interviews, and telephone versus in person interviews, as well as the the tensions and burdens of being a minority when interviewing or being interviewed by a majority. Buzzino presents in her article that when minorities are interviewing for positions, there are some communicative barriers because of cultural differences. Interviewees belonging to underrepresented groups are often quite nervous and reserved of being misunderstood. They have to emulate and uphold a standard when it comes to interviewing because they don't want to make their peers feel uneasy. And as a Black woman, mostly being in all male white all white male spaces, you kind of have to, what is it called, code switch, meaning you act a certain way at work than you do at home. So that resonated with me very much. um Buzzino also states that the use of large words, business attire, and defying stereotypes are just a few details that interviewers observe when making their decisions. When doing such, the chances of that candidate being hired increases as opposed to their counterpart that chooses to be themselves. So if I go in to an interview and I speak eloquently and they like what I say, they like how I, my mannerisms and how I obtain myself, if they see that, it's more likely for me to get the job than me speaking slang and isn't and ain'ts. It wouldn't fit company culture. Um, so with the fear of being outcasted, non-dominant groups feel the need to adapt to dominant culture and cast aside their their true self to become more relatable at work. Um, so one might act totally different at work and then take the same personality and traits that they have at work and take them at home, and family might feel like they aren't the same person anymore because they had to uphold a certain standard that isn't who they are anymore and doesn't align with who are they trying to be. COVID emerged and life as we knew had changed drastically. In this article titled Successful Virtual Interviews Perspectives from Recent Surgical Fellowship Applicants and Advice for Both Applicants and Programs, the authors explain how the medical interview process has changed from in person to virtual. And in this article, it gives you a what to do when interviewing through Zoom or, a virtual call. The authors give tips and advice like how to make sure the applicant has good lighting, because in the interview you don't want any negative shadows or not so pretty shadows over your face. They also give advice on how to not have distracting art on the walls or anything on the walls that could just, converge into a new topic other than what the candidate is there for. Also, the programs or the interviewer should make sure that they're connection is right, all their wires are good, the connection is good, sound, mic, everything is well, just to limit the disruptions when conducting the interview. For the candidate, attentiveness, nice posture, and being respectful of others are just a few webcam etiquettes that are sought out by managers and supervisors, the companies that are hiring. And it feels like that this form of interviewing will be here for a while, because there are still more variants that are coming out of COVID, and it's just still not, very wise to do things in person at this time of the year, especially during cold and flu season.